Welcome to this information session on the Masters in Educational Leadership in Practice programme delivered by the University of Manchester and the Middle East Centre. My name is William Walsh. I am part of the counselling team and corporate relations team here at the University of Manchester Middle East Centre, and I will be your presenter this afternoon and moderator as well. And I'm delighted to have with me one of our current students on the Masters programme, Ms. Jennifer Durston, who's actually head of drama at the NLCS school here in Dubai. So that's the North London Collegiate School. And I'm very happy to say that she will be here to share her experience with all of you this afternoon. And she'll be here to answer a couple of questions for you as well. So that will be during the second half of this session. So the first half will be dedicated to a short presentation on the programme so that you get to acquaint yourself a bit better with it. And then we'll move on to a Q&A session about Jennifer and her experience on the Masters programme. So without further ado, I'll get started. So this is what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. So this is the plan for this afternoon. So we'll be talking about Manchester itself, the University of Manchester and its Middle East Centre, to give you a sort of overview of the university and the centre. Then we'll move on to the programme itself, of course. So we'll look at the overview of the programme, the structure of it, and of course the requirements to join the Masters in Educational Leadership programme, as well as the application process. We'll then, of course, go on to the fees, which I'm sure is very important to many of you as well. So to start off with Manchester, so many of you will know that Manchester is based in the UK. It's in the north of England and one of the largest cities back home for me. And it's obviously renowned for its vision, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. So it's a place where a lot of things have been taking place for many, many years. It's renowned for its vibrant cultural scene. So some of the world's greatest musicians and artists come from Manchester. Many of you may know of Oasis, the band, who's from Manchester, as well as that you may be familiar with Benedict Cumberbatch, the actor, who plays Doctor Strange in the Avengers. So he's an alumnus of the University of Manchester as well. Furthermore, I'm sure that you will be familiar with the sporting background of Manchester as well, with the football teams, Manchester United and Manchester City. Of course, Manchester City actually have a relation with the Middle East, with them being owned by Abu Dhabi. So it's very, very well renowned for its sort of sporting culture. But as well as that, you know, we're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about creativity and new ideas. Well, it is the place where the very first computer was built. It's the first place where the atom was discovered. So was discovered by Ernest Rutherford, actually, and he actually won a Nobel Prize for this discovery, as it actually launched the field of nuclear physics. So it was really a game changer for us. And it's obviously the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, and it is the place where we discovered graphene, which is one of the new materials we discovered, and that actually won a Nobel Prize for that particular discovery as well. So that's a bit of knowledge about Manchester in a nutshell. Now, moving on to the university itself. So it was established back in 1824. So it's nearly 2 centuries old. It's been here for nearly 200 years. That's very soon, actually. That jubilee is very soon. As you can imagine, the quality of education with the vast experience that the university has is world-class. The education discipline has been taught there since 1890, so you can imagine as well the amount of work that has been put into our education-related programs as well. We've got 25 Nobel Prize winners, so we're actually the 23rd university with the most Nobel Prize winners. And as well as that, we are ranked 27th best university in the world as per the QS World University Rankings of 2021. And we're also ranked 5th in the UK for research power. We've also been ranked first not too long ago by the Times Higher Education ranking with regards to our social responsibility. So we're very, very happy about that as well. And of course, the programs that we offer and the education discipline is taught by leading experts in education, which is very important, I'm sure, for many of you here. Moving on now to the University of Manchester Middle East Centre. So the centre was set up actually back in 2006. So this year is the 15th year of the University of Manchester Middle East Centre. It's graduated, over 2,800 students in the region alone. We've had 100 plus nationalities on the programme, and we've graduated 1,800 students from the MBA, which is the flagship programme. It's actually been running ever since the inception of the centre back in 2006. And currently we are offering these 5 different programmes. So the Manchester Global Part-Time MBA, the Kelly Manchester Global Part-Time MBA, the Part-Time Masters in Real Estate, the Part-Time Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice, and the Part-Time Masters in Financial Management. So all of these programs are designed for working professionals here in the Middle East and delivered in a part-time blended learning format as well to suit the needs of busy working professionals. So Dubai is part of a wider network of global centres. So as you can see on your screen there, we also have centres in Shanghai, Hong Kong and Singapore for Southeast Asia, but we've also got a centre in Sao Paulo in Brazil and the main campus in Manchester as well, just to make sure that world-class education is accessible to all, no matter where you are in the world. So that's very important for us to be able to share knowledge and share education across borders as well. So that's a bit more about the University of Manchester Middle East. So to recap a little bit more about the university itself, I just want to share a small video with you to just give you a
You've all got your own stories and your own pasts, but wherever you've come from, whether it's near or far, you're now part of something special. Here, our personal journeys merge into the bigger story, in which we all play our part and all leave our mark. History surrounds us through our rituals, in our stories, our experiences, and it lives through our friendships. Your story will become part of our history and the history of those around you, the histories of all the people of our university. A history that has an impact not only in Manchester, but on the story of the world. Together we create worlds that are seen differently by everyone. We've engineered powerful and inspiring characters. We delve into the minds of others and strive to understand in a way that science can only dream of. We search in the present for clues to the past, and in the past we find the clues to our present. We're the masters of time. We slow it down, we investigate its past, and influence its future. History is never fixed, it's always changing, and identity is always in the making, never made. This is Manchester. And in this university, our humanity ignites revolution, forges creation, and helps us understand the world.
So I hope that gave you a little flavour about the University of Manchester and excited you a bit about the university as well. Of course, it has a lot of history behind it, and I'm really, really proud to be a part of the university, of course. So moving on now to the programme itself, of course, that's what you're here for this afternoon. So obviously, the purpose of the Masters in Educational Leadership is, in practice is, education is constantly under pressure to conform to external requirements, especially with standardization, and to test sweeping the globe and steering policy and pressurizing educational leaders as well. So the course builds the sort of intellectual and practical confidence in all interactions. So with regards to teachers, parents, students, managers, board members, policymakers, to sort of engage at a higher level and to really influence change within your educational organizations as well. So if you are a teacher or an educator and you're looking to move into a leadership role within an education organization, the course is probably built for you. So it will give you the vital knowledge and skills to take your career to the next level, empowering you to really lead with confidence and have a real impact as well. So with regards to the program, it's a 2-year part-time master's degree, which is really designed for working professionals, as I previously mentioned, here in the Middle East. So it is delivered in a blended learning format, which means there's an online component and a face-to-face component. And I'll get to that in just a short while when we talk about the structure of the program in a bit more depth. But every year we have one intake, which is in September. So we still have a couple of months to go before the actual start in 2021. You'll have the opportunity to visit us twice a year for interactive course conferences. So this is the time where you'll have the opportunity to interact with the students and the faculty as well. And I'll explain that in a bit more depth later on as well. The applied learning methods. So our programs are very, very practice-based. So it's a very practical approach that we like, a practice-based approach that we like to use at the university, simply because we believe that if you do apply the learning, you will remember it better. You will better understand the value behind it as well. So that's very important to us. And so I'm happy to tell you already, before even going to the structure of the program, that there are no sort of seated exams during the course of the program. So I'm sure you'll be happy to hear about that. You have 4 themes that encapsulate the program. So leadership, critical approach, change management, and networking. And you'll also have the ability to customize with optional units as well. So during one of the semesters, you'll have the choice between 2 different units. And as well as that, if you actually have approved prior learning, so if you've done a PG cert in educational leadership previously, or any sort of previous leadership certificate that you may have, you may be able to sort of skip these modules if you don't want to study them altogether. Now, meet the team. So the people behind the Masters in Educational Leadership program. So Dr. Alexander Gartner-McTaggart is the course director. He's been in international educational leadership for about 22 years now, and he's done a lot of research and teaching around that particular aspect of education. He used to be a senior lecturer in leadership at the Royal Military Academy of Sandhurst, which is where all the British officers are trained back in the UK. So you can imagine the importance of leadership being taught there. And he used to be a teacher as well, a manager at international schools and universities in the UK, Europe, and even in the Middle East. So he was also based for a short while in Abu Dhabi during his time here. So other notable academics on the program. So we've also got Professor Helen Gunther. So she's a professor in education policy, very, very recognized. She has been published multiple times on this particular topic, and she's on multiple boards as well regarding educational policy back in the UK. We've also got Dr. Stephen Courtney, who's a senior lecturer in management and leadership, Dr. Stephen Rayner, who's a lecturer in education leadership, and Dr. Paul Armstrong, who's a lecturer in education. So you'll meet them during the course of the program. Now, with regards to the blended learning part-time program, so this is the structure of the 2 years of the master's program. As you can see here, there are 4 different semesters that you are going to undertake. And so across these 4 semesters, you will be studying 8 different modules, as you can see here, 2 in every semester. And just to reiterate what the blended learning format is like. So the online component that you'll have access to is basically a virtual campus called Blackboard, and that's where all the program information is actually accessible there. That's where you'll find all the course content, the reading material, your electronic books will be accessible there as well. You'll have access to the online library, which is actually one of the largest online libraries in the world. You'll also have discussion boards and online tutorials, live online tutorials, I should say, which will be scheduled in advance by the faculty so that you can actually interact with them and the other students as well during the course of the program. Not to worry if you don't actually make it to every single one of them, simply because they are always recorded for your very own convenience. So in the event you have different commitments, work commitments, family commitments, or you just simply want to watch them again, they will be accessible to you online via the recordings. So with that being said, moving on to the sort of face-to-face aspect of the program, the way we deliver it is that once every semester, you will have a 3-day course conference that actually takes place here in Dubai in the UAE. And the great thing about them, the great value about the great value of the course conference is that we usually fly the professors all the way from the UK to the UAE to obviously lead these course conferences. All of our students around the region, so for those of you based in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, etc., we have all of our students travel to Dubai to attend these 3 days of course conferences. I know many of you will be asking if this is during the weekend or during the week, because you're obviously involved for many of you in schools as well. So just to let you know, there may be the odd Saturday, but you may have to take some time off work, so Sunday and Monday here in the region, to actually attend these 3-day course conferences, unless, if you're lucky enough, it's during the school holidays, but I don't think so, and not at least for the next September conference, which will take place in a couple of months' time. So that's the sort of delivery methods with regards to this program, so the online component and the face-to-face component as well. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to put them into the chat box, and I'll have a look at them at the end of the presentation. To let you know as well, as you can see here, what a typical semester looks like is that in every semester you'll have 2 modules to study. So as you can hear in semester 1, for example, you'll have models of educational leadership and engaging with educational leadership research. So the way it works is every module is about 10 weeks long, 10 weeks to 3 months. So that means the breakdown of it is you'll have about 8 weeks dedicated to studying. So you'll go through the content with the faculty, with the other students as well. And then you'll have 2 weeks dedicated to the assessment. So to the assessment component, which you will have, which for this particular module, for example, will be a reflective piece of about 4,000 words. Once you've done these 10 weeks, you'll then move on to the second module, which is engaging with educational leadership research, and the same will apply. So 8 weeks of studying, 2 weeks for the assignment. And for this particular module, you'll actually have a critical literature review of about 3,000 words, and then you'll have a reflective account of learning on the course unit and its influence on practice, which is about 1,000 words or so. So you'll even have different sort of assessed components as well, but none of them are sort of exam-based. So you won't have to come into the centre to sit any sort of exams. So once you've done that, you'll then move on to the other semesters, and the same applies. So you'll really study one module at a time, and that really enables you to go into detail when it comes to these particular modules with regards to these particular topics. So you'll really be able to go into detail in terms of the reading materials that will be given to you by the professors, in terms of the content, the presentation as well, the discussions that you will have with them and the other students. So it really allows you to really go into detail, which is very good to hear, I'm sure. Once that is done, you'll actually be moving on to semester 2, semester 3. And many of you may be asking what happens towards the end of the program. So is it a dissertation or not? So what you will have here is, as you can see, a research skills suite, which is a little bit different because the professors, the faculty will take you through different aspects of going through research. So that's, setting up thesis, seeing how you can actually use previous research that was made to do your own as well. So that's quite an important module for those of you who are looking to get into PhD programs later on, for example, or to go into research as well. And then you'll have an independent project, which is a unit where students will really identify and investigate a research problem, so located in or inspired by their professional practice. But this must, of course, be explicitly related to educational leadership. So yet again, it's all about applying the knowledge that is given to you through the program and to relate it to your experience as well, which is very important, of course. So if you have any questions about this slide or the delivery of the program, as I previously mentioned, please just put in the chat box and the Q&A, and I'll have a look at them towards the end of the program. But let's move on. So in terms of the approach, yet again, so the blended learning format, which allows for quality learning through different media and technique approaches. So as I mentioned, the e-learning aspect, which maximizes your opportunity to learn at your own pace alongside your work and personal commitments as well. That being said, it is exactly that, because if that means you'd like to study in the evenings or in the mornings, that's something that you can do. The professors will obviously outline what you have to do during the course of the module, so you'll be able to sort of organize your schedule accordingly. If you prefer to do the bulk of the studying during the weekend, that is completely up to you as well. So that's the sort of great flexibility that you'll have on this program, is that it really fits hand in hand with your other commitments as well, which is really important for educators and other education professionals around the region. You'll have course conferences, and so you'll have personal support interaction with tutors and peers twice a year here in the UAE as well. So that's great because you'll be able to network face-to-face with the students and the faculty as well. The applied learning aspect, so the application of the learning, as I previously mentioned, which is extremely important, simply because we don't want to do what probably most of you are doing in your schools as we speak, is give a bunch of information to your students, make them learn it by heart, and then have to sit an exam and it goes into one ear and comes out the other. So that's something that we're trying to avoid, and especially with higher education, especially at your level of experience as well. For us, the most important thing is to actually see the application of the knowledge so that it really sticks with you, and that you can actually have an impact on your role within your organization, because at the end of the day, if you want to get into a leadership position within schools as well, you'll have to showcase different skills. So that's exactly what we're trying to do through this very program as well. And then action learning, of course. So you'll have the opportunity to discuss and to tackle work-related issues and things with regards to the content as well in small groups. So it's really about interacting with the other students as well, because I can guarantee it that you will be learning as much from the faculty as you will from the other students on the program as well. And that's the real value of joining a master's program, is that you'll be interacting with experienced professionals within the same sector. So what are some of the benefits of doing this course? So in your career, this degree is designed to give you the tools to be a principal, head, board member, NGO leader, administrator, middle manager, policy maker. After your master's, you will reinvigorate your practice, elevate your goals and approach. You'll have the chance to sort of lead change within your education organization as well. You'll have the opportunity to grow your network, as I previously mentioned, with some of these notable academics, but the other students on the program who are located in different parts of this region as well. And obviously you'll be learning, you'll have the opportunity to learn, different skills, so the intellectual skills, the practical skills, the transferable skills as well, which would actually apply to many of the other jobs around the sector as well. Now, moving on to the entry requirements for the program. Now, of course, that's very important. Many of you may already know some of this information, but just to reiterate it for those of you who don't, the academic requirements, you'll actually need a bachelor's degree, which is either a first or a 2-1, preferably. For those of you in the US system, this would be equivalent to a 3.3 GPA or above, or any sort of international equivalent as well. So this is quite important. The next step, the sort of next point isn't mandatory, but it's sort of highly considered as well. It gives you higher chances of joining the program. So if you actually have an initial teaching qualification or at least 2 years of professional experience in a private or public educational organization, this will give a better idea to, it will give you a better chance, I should say, with regards to admissions for this program. So it's quite important to keep this in mind. And the 2-2, the odd 2-2 may be considered as well, as long as you have quite significant work experience as well. So don't let that hinder your consideration for this program as well. With regards to English language competency, so I know this doesn't apply to everyone. Some of you who are from the UK or other English-speaking countries or have studied in these countries, so who studied in Australia, in Canada, the US, the UK, this obviously doesn't apply to you. But for those of you who actually need to prove your English language competency, you'll actually need an English language test certificate. So this can be in the form of the Versant English Pearson test. Now, this test is offered by the University of Manchester Middle East Centre. So in the event you need to take a test, you can take this one free of charge. We'll obviously give you a brief about the test, and then we'll send you the link to complete it. It has similar components to the IELTS test as well. So you'll have the usual speaking, listening, reading, writing components. I think it's about 15 minutes to actually complete the entire test. Otherwise, of course, you can complete the IELTS, the TOEFL, the PTE Academic, the CPE, CAE, Cambridge. And as you can see here, these are the minimum sort of test results that we do need. So for the IELTS, it's 6.5 overall, with no less than 6 in all the categories as well. And very importantly, please note that the test date must not be more than 2 years of age as well. So that's very important. Otherwise, you may have to retake it as well if you are applying for this particular program. Now, we'll move on to the application process as well. Now, there is basically one main step. I should say two, because there is the English language test for those of you who actually need it. But for those of you who don't, there's just one main component that you need to keep in mind, and that's submitting your online application form. So what you need to do first is obviously check the admissions requirements and application deadlines, just to make sure that you can be considered for the program in the first place, and that you don't miss the deadline to submit your application. The next step is, if you believe that you'd be the right fit for the program, get in touch with the university. So send us your CV, speak with some of our program counsellors here at the university to make sure that this is the right program for you, that you can actually consider it as well. So for those of you who haven't, you can actually go to our website, manchester.ac.uk, E, find the Educational Leadership Masters page, and you can submit a callback request, and we will get in touch with you very shortly to make sure that you can actually consider the program. Once that has been assessed by your program counsellor or by yourself, if you decide to take the leap by yourself, what you'll need to do is complete the online application form. So what we'll need is, as outlined here, a detailed copy of your updated CV, degree certificates, so PDF copies of them, you'll have to attach them to the application, a translated copy for those who actually have a degree which is in a different language. It actually needs to be an official translation as well. You'll have to attach your degree transcripts, English language certificate if required. Not to worry, however, you can still submit the application before having completed any sort of English language test. So you may still receive a conditional offer from the university stating that the condition is you'll have to complete an English language test to be offered an unconditional place onto the program as well. So don't let that stop you from actually submitting your application. You'll also have to include 2 references. So what will happen is that in the reference section of the application, we'll ask you for the details of your referees. So please note that at least 1 professional reference is required. You can put an academic reference in there as well if needed. But you'll put their names, job titles, email address, and we will send them a reference form that they will have to fill out and send back to us as well. Once that's done, we'll actually require you to submit a supporting statement. So that's a 500-word essay, more or less, explaining what attracts you to apply to the course, what you hope to gain out of the program, and what will it help you achieve with regards to your aims and aspirations. Once that is done, we send everything to the UK to be reviewed by the admissions committee, and then you should hear from them very soon. In the event they need additional information for you, or they're not quite sure about your profile, you may be asked to actually attend a very short interview just to discuss with them very quickly a bit more about your profile. And if they're happy with everything, or if not, you'll still hear from them very shortly with regards to the outcome of your application via email. So I hope that's clear. If it's not, obviously, please feel free to ask your questions as well. We'll then get to the fee aspect of the program. Obviously, this is quite important, I'm sure, for many of you. So currently, this is the price of the program, so 12,600 Great British pounds. This is payable in installments, so across the program, so in 4 equal installments, so for the 4 semesters during the course of the program. So every 6 months or so, every semester, you'd be required to pay about £3,150, which I believe is more or less the equivalent to about 16,000 dirhams, give or take, and that's every 6 months, every semester of the program. For those of you in Saudi Arabia, I think it's a little bit more with the exchange rate, maybe about 18 to 19,000 Saudi riyals instead. So that's the fee for the upcoming intake in September. Now, before we move to the Q&A part of the session, I'll quickly give you a bit of an overview as to what our students have been saying with regards to the program. So these are students that are based in the UK. So I'll just play this very short video for all of you to learn a bit more about the program from our students.
Well, I'm currently the IB-DP coordinator at my school. We've recently implemented the IB program, and so in order to better lead people that are new to this type of curriculum and new to this program entirely, I thought the course could really give me the support that I need.
I chose Manchester because I came here for my undergraduate degree and my PGCE, so I know of the university's reputation, and there wasn't really anywhere else offering this course as it is here, and this was the best fit for me really, so yeah, I'm excited.
One of the reasons I chose Manchester was because the course is focused on being kind of on the leadership, not just education in general, and being able to do it as a blended learning course from a distance. Living in Suffolk is ideal being a full-time teacher.
From looking online at the different courses, Manchester offered me the best opportunity to work alongside top researchers in their field who were able to give me insight into educational leadership, because obviously I'm looking to move into a position where I am leading, or a leading figure in education, particularly within bilingual or international contexts.
I'm a mum of 4, so I knew I needed something online, but also I wanted that personal connections and accountability to someone rather than an online only course. I felt like the blended option gave me that university feel while still being able to complete the course online. So yeah, a bit of both.
Fantastic, brilliant. I hope that gives you a bit more of an idea as well with regards to the programme. I hope that's been helpful. Quickly, before we move on to the Q&A as well, I forgot to mention we are actually offering a MOOC as well on the Future Learn platform online. So this is a 3-week short course, which is a taster course basically of the educational leadership programme. So you can find it on there, and it will give you a small idea about what the programme is all about. So for those of you who are actually looking to get a feel for it before actually committing to the programme for the next September intake, this is an opportunity for you. I know you need to commit about 4 hours weekly to the MOOC, which means that it's not as intense as the master's programme if you do embark on it, but it will give you a good idea of what it's like. So feel free to go to futurelearn.com, typing the University of Manchester Educational Leadership Working for Good, and you'll find the MOOC for this particular programme, and it's also led by Dr. Alexander Gardner, the programme director for the Masters as well. So it will give you a sort of good idea of what it's like. And I know that the academic year here in the region is soon to be over. So whilst you enjoy your holidays, feel free to complete this before moving forward if you'd like to learn a bit more. So that's there in the event you'd like to just have a short go at what it's like to be on the programme. So any questions? So we will be taking questions in just a short while, but first and foremost, I'd still like to bring to the front Ms. Jennifer Durston, who kindly has taken the time this afternoon to be with us and to really share her experience of the programme. So Jennifer actually joined the first cohort here in the Middle East. So the very first cohort for this master's programme was in September of 2020, last year. So it's obviously a very good opportunity to see what she has to say about the programme, what it's been like to study online, to interact with the other students on the programme as well, and the faculty alike. So Jennifer, if I can ask you to, fantastic. I believe you're here. I think we can hear you as well, which is brilliant. So, well, thank you very much for taking the time. And I think before we get going in terms of learning a bit more about your experience, it'd be great if you could just give a bit of information regarding your background to the audience so that they have a sort of better understanding of where you come from as well, and the reason of why, you've decided to pursue this type of program as well.
Yes, of course. Good evening, everybody. So as William said, my name's Jennifer Durston. I am currently head of drama at North London Collegiate School in Dubai. I moved to the region 4 years ago, and I've actually been in middle management now for about 11 years. I've had 4 children, and I just felt it was that point in my career where I wanted to make that next step. And I felt that I needed to do this course more for a confidence, to enable me to have I have the experience, but I felt like I wanted the academic theory behind it, so that when I was in meetings with senior leadership, I had that sort of knowledge is power. And I've definitely found that in the short time that I've been on the course, that my confidence has increased significantly because of the reading that I've been doing. So that's kind of my reasons for joining the course.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. That's very clear. And if I may ask you as well, in that case, now that once you determined that you needed to do a master's in educational leadership, why did you go for the University of Manchester? Is there any specific reason that maybe fit to your specific requirements and needs as well?
Yes, of course. Now, I went to Salford University in Manchester for my undergraduate, so I know Manchester incredibly well and the reputation that it has. I felt that, again, in order for me to apply for those jobs in assistant principals and then vice principals, I wanted to have a reputable university. And obviously with Manchester being part of the Russell Group, I knew that that would be incredibly beneficial. Looking at other universities that were on offer in the region, I felt that this possibly would work best for me in terms of my family situation, my work commitments, as well as allowing me to have an incredibly reputable university on my CV.
Brilliant, fantastic. That's absolutely great to hear. And on the note of family commitments and work commitments, how have you been able to sort of manage that as you've moved along and now in your second semester? How challenging has it been? How were you able to sort of cope with the workload as well?
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to sugarcoat it for people. It is tough. Doing a master's is, you know, it's challenging, especially the school that I work in is very demanding, rightly so. They want to be one of the best in the region. So I have to still be able to commit to my work. And as I said, I've got 4 young children. So I was worried when I started the course that I wouldn't be able to cope. Although it is challenging, what I've found is that you just have to make it work for you. So my work has been incredibly good, and I have one period a week where I can actually go and do reading. They've put that on my timetable. And then I also make sure that I set time aside at the weekend, and then I do it when the children are in bed. I do know that other colleagues who don't have the family commitments, they work their day slightly different than me, but you just have to set yourself a schedule and stick to it. What I have found, it's actually been great for me. I'm not just a teacher and a mum. I'm actually doing something for me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the reading. I feel like it's developed me personally. So that's the one thing I would highly recommend to people, is just the sense of achievement that it gives you as an individual.
Fantastic. That's really, really great to hear. And if I may just move on to the virtual experience as well, the learning experience, because obviously you've joined at a time where obviously we're in the middle of the pandemic. It's September 2020, just after the summer. Obviously, a lot of full-time programs have moved online as well. Thankfully, this one has already been delivered in a blended learning format, so it's a little bit different. But how's the interaction been virtually with regards to the other students on the program who are maybe based in other countries as well, with regards to the faculty as well back in Manchester? How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Obviously, it was slightly disappointing. You've mentioned about the conferences, and the conferences should take place face-to-face in Dubai. And due to the pandemic, we've not been able to do that. So they've all been moved online. But actually, it's been fantastic. It's been very well organized. It's been fantastic to get to know other students online. We've actually set up WhatsApp groups, so I'm in constant contact with the other students. And I think I mentioned this to you the other day there. What's been wonderful is there's been a few occasions where work's got a bit hectic and I've maybe panicked and thought I don't quite understand what's happening. And I've managed to email one of my lecturers, and within 24 hours, they've arranged a meeting with me, and I've been doing face-to-face calls and they've sorted it out. So the communication it's been outstanding. I've been incredibly impressed.
Brilliant, that's fantastic to hear. And yeah, absolutely, you make a very fair point there, Jennifer, as well, simply because in an online environment, we may think that the interaction is a little bit more difficult. So the efficiency of the interaction and of the communication needs to be really, really high level, because otherwise it makes it a little bit more complicated. So that's absolutely great to hear. And with regards to maybe the application of knowledge, because obviously the program sort of really focuses and emphasizes on the application of knowledge as well. So there's a lot of sort of theoretical aspect to it. But at the end of the day, Dr. Alexander and his team will really want you to put it into practice, especially with the independent project towards the end of your program. But have you already been able to sort of apply some of that learning to your current job?
Yeah, definitely. It was surprising, actually. After about, I would say, the 4th week, I found myself in a whole staff meeting where we were actually discussing how to move the school forward. And I just found that I had the literature and the knowledge to make contributions to the discussion much more confidently. So from that point of view, I was delighted. Secondly, I'm currently in the unit where we are doing a small research project, and I've been able to tailor it to my responsibility within school. And so it's great. I'm not just doing a project for the sake of it and ticking that box. I'm actually doing a project that's enhancing my job. It's something that I need to know. And what's been really great is that's encouraged. We're encouraged to do something that works alongside your current position. So it's not that you have to kind of forge a project. It's something that's a role that you're in. So yeah, definitely the knowledge has been fantastic.
Brilliant. That's music to our ears, of course, and that's great to hear. And that's really interesting. And maybe you did talk about assessment there as well. So I'm just quite keen to maybe give a better understanding of the way you're assessed during the course of the program, because obviously, yet again, it's all about reflection. It's all about critical thinking. So have you felt that the assessments have been delivered in a way that's been useful to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, we do the conference calls and we find out what the assessment's going to be, and we have the opportunity to discuss that with our lecturers and our peers. And it's very clear cut that there's no hiding what the assessment is. We know from the very beginning of each module what it is that we're being assessed on, and that's incredibly clear. The format in which it's shared, you can access it every day. If you've got any questions, you can email the lecturers, and it's manageable. Like I say, that the work is challenging. It's master's level, so of course it's going to be challenging, but it is accessible. The way in which the course is set up, each week the reading builds up towards the assessment, so it's very clear.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. That's exactly what I was trying to get to. Thank you very much for clarifying that for us, Jennifer. With regards to the questions, I think on my end, that's about it for me, Jennifer. So I'll just try and take a couple of questions from the audience here as well, and see if there's anything that is quite important for us to know a bit more about. So I think one of the attendees is asking, I want to become a vice principal and later on principal. Would this educational leadership degree help me fulfill my goals? Would you sort of agree with statement saying that?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's what the course is aimed for. And whenever we're in any lectures with Dr. Alex and the other course lecturers, it is very much aimed towards pushing you towards that. Obviously, at the stage of my career that I'm in, I am currently middle management and I'm looking to go to assistant head, then vice principal. I'm not quite sure if I want to go to principal, but there's a number of people on the course that are aiming to go towards that. And we've actually got some people on the course who are not far off that point in their career. And like I said before, Manchester University is an incredibly reputable university worldwide. And will stand you very good stead to aim for that.
Fantastic, brilliant. So I hope that, Alberto, that answers your question. I think we've got some more technical questions. This may be more for me, but yes, some of you are asking about the degree itself, so the degree certificate. So just to let you all know, the degree is issued in Manchester in the UK. So there's no sort of mention of Middle East or anything like that, simply because it is exactly the same program as the one on offer back in Manchester. So it's the same content, same faculty as well. So it will be exactly the same degree certificate. And you will have the opportunity to graduate in Manchester as well if you wish to do so. So I'm sure that will excite many of you, because as you've previously seen in the videos, it's an absolutely fantastic campus that we have there, with over 40,000 individuals on campus. So it's actually one of the largest campus-based universities in Europe, and I think it is the largest or second largest in the UK as well. So it is a very, very big campus. So it's absolutely fabulous. And I know that some of you have been asking about the conferences as well. So I know that Jennifer did mention that she hadn't had the opportunity to attend a face-to-face conference just yet, simply because of the situation. So I can confirm that to this day, it has been delivered virtually for those that were actually attending the course, because of the ongoing situation and the restrictions on travel between the UK and the UAE. However, we expect that in September, the professors will be able to travel to the UAE to deliver the course conferences. And for those of you who feel comfortable or are based in the UAE as well, you will be able to attend it face-to-face. Otherwise, for those of you who may be in Saudi Arabia or based in any other sort of Middle Eastern countries, if you can't actually make your way to Dubai, it will be delivered in a hybrid approach as well, which means that you will be able to sort of tune in online. But whatever happens, these conferences are mandatory, and even if they're not delivered face-to-face, they will still be delivered virtually, so that you still get that interaction with the faculty and the professors, which is very, very important as well.
The tutorials are also recorded, which I found very useful. There was one occasion where I couldn't attend due to a commitment at school. And when I got home, I just put the recording on and was able to catch up. And there was one point that I didn't understand, and I just emailed Dr. Alex and he clarified for me. So again, it's very adaptable for your situation.
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and I wanted to know, maybe Jennifer as well, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to browse through the online library as well, because I'm assuming that the faculty will provide you with a list of readings as well, an extensive list, which will take a little bit of time, I must admit. But how has it been to sort of navigate the library, the blackboards, all of that? Has that been
It's
smooth?
brilliant. I'm a drama teacher by specialist. IT is not my speciality, and I've managed absolutely fine. What's been great for me, that I went to university and graduated in 2003, which is when you used to have to go to the library and get your books out. And it's been absolutely amazing that, you know, at 11 o'clock at night, I can go into Manchester Library and I can find everything that I need. So it has been absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Yeah, that's exactly what it's there for. We've got, I think, about 400,000 records in the online library, so it's a very, very big library there. So, sorry, Jennifer, were you?
No, I was just agreeing with you. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Great to hear. Great to hear. Before I let you all go, because I'm quite conscious of time, I know we've got about 2 minutes left here. So, before I leave, I basically close this session, I just wanted to share with all of you, and especially that all of you are probably related to education in some sort of way. So at the moment, the University of Manchester Middle East Centre is actually running a charitable initiative with Dubai Cares here called Adopt a School, whereby we're raising funds to actually create a school in Nepal to make sure that education is accessible even for those who are underprivileged and less fortunate. So these are some of the current programs that Dubai Care runs. Obviously, Dubai Cares has been around for many, many years and has been created by His Highness, the Sheikh here in Dubai. And so obviously it's really, really dear to us and to the university to really sort of push this forward. So I just have a very short video that I'd like to play for you as well, to just show you a bit more about this initiative and what it's all about, and you will be able to find details online as well if you'd like to participate. And we're hoping to be able to build, to finish this initiative by the end of this year, and to have the school built sometime next year as well. So that doesn't have quite as many details, but basically all the information is online on our website. So if you go to manchester.ac.ae/SR for social responsibility, you'll see the initiative there, and you can go, and it will link you to the Dubai Cares website as well, where you can see the initiative, because this is led by them. Of course, we're here to support them, but I hope that you'll find this of interest as well. And before I let you all go, I have a final video to play to you, and this is from the Chancellor of the university itself.
Open the dawn
really
in the open sky, the laboratory, open the book, open the challenge with open eyes. Open, out, look. Open all minds, open all dreams, research, question, open all doors, open all senses, open all defenses. Ask, what were these closed for? In the possibilities of light, the nature of trust, the strength of unassailable us. How strong the night lies as light aerates the dark, and atomic dreams multiply from a graphene heart. We who have walked the world in the name of here and where we came from, stand in this great city and say, I belong here. I belong. I bring my past, I bring my future, I bring my rights and I bring my song. I stand atop the University of Manchester. We belong here. We belong.
So I hope that you've enjoyed that short poem by Chancellor Caesar, who's a very reputable poet and writer as well. He was supposed to come to Dubai actually for the Literature Festival earlier this year, but because of the situation, as you can imagine, it was a little bit difficult. But I hope that this gave you a sort of good impression of the University of Manchester and what we stand for as well. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to end this webinar, this information session. I know that there are loads of questions that we haven't had the time to go through. In the event I haven't been able to address your questions, we will get in touch with you if need be. Please make sure to get in touch with us as well. It is a much simpler task to do. So if you just go to manchester.ac.ae on the programs page and find the educational leadership and practice page, you can submit your callback request there, and we will get in touch with you to make sure that you are able to learn more about the program, to successfully apply for the program as well if need be, and to accompany your journey. And for those of you who've already been in touch with your student advisor, please feel free to get in touch with them as well. That's what they're here to do, so to help you out, to make sure that you successfully submit the application, apply for the program as well, and get onto the program. We didn't get to a specific topic with Jennifer, which is student advisors, but to let you all know before I leave, once you get onto the program, you'll actually have your dedicated assigned student advisor, and that person will be with you for the entire duration of the program, for the entirety year. So if you have any issues in reaching specific places on the website, and if you can't access any of the material, if you need to get in touch with some of the faculty as well, or if you need to talk to them about the workshop or the course conferences, they're here to help you out. So you'll have your very own dedicated course counsellor, and it's really important because, as you know, you're all working professionals with families as well. So it's always good to have someone on your shoulder sort of helping you out if you need be. So there will be your primary contact at the university. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any further questions, please get in touch with us. As I previously mentioned, we have a dedicated email address as well for the Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice, which can be found on the website. And as well as that, if you need anything at all, please get in touch with us. You have access to the events page on the website as well for any future events. We will have Dr. Alexander Gardner McTaggart on very soon, the next couple of months before the program. And actually, some of his recorded webinars are on the website as well for information. And there are the YouTube channels where you can find testimonies and other videos as well. So with that being said, I'd really like to take the time to really thank Jennifer Durston for her time this afternoon. We really do appreciate the time of our students, especially that they're extremely busy, as you've very, very clearly mentioned. And these are busy times as well, because it is the end of the academic year for many schools here in the region. So we really, really do appreciate your time and your insight as well, and for sharing your experience. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Really do appreciate it. And
no problem, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you very much, and the same to you and your fellow students on the program. And we hope to see you all soon at the course conferences, of course, here in Dubai. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending this information session on the Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice. We really do appreciate your time. Please do stay safe, and all the best as well. Thank you, and goodbye.